Professor Kalta stood before the amphitheater, his crystalline form refracting the soft blue light of the lecture hall. The Interstellar Academy Xenobiology course had attracted students from 47 different species, all eager to understand the galaxy's most paradoxical civilization, humanity. A young Vexian in the third row raised one of her 6 tentacles. Professor, the data doesn't make sense. Earth is classified as a Class 12 Deathworld, yet humans have the 3rd largest population in the galactic community. How did they survive long enough to develop space travel? The professor's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. An excellent question, Ciara. Perhaps our human guest lecturer can explain. He gestured toward the corner where a human woman sat, seemingly unbothered by the 300 pairs of eyes suddenly fixed upon her. Dr. Sarah Chen stood, her movements fluid despite the higher gravity most species required. Thank you, Professor. Before I answer, let me ask you all something. What makes Earth a death world, in your opinion? A Thracian student, his carapace gleaming under the lights, spoke up immediately. The atmospheric oxygen content, 21%. That's enough to cause rapid oxidation. Your very air is corrosive. The predators, chirped a small piptail from the upper seats. Your planet has creatures that hunt for sport, not just sustenance. Apex predators on every continent. The weather, growled a Corvash, her fur bristling. Hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis. Your planet is actively trying to kill everything on it. Sarah nodded, a slight smile playing at her lips. All true, but you're thinking about it wrong. You're asking how we survived despite Earth. The real answer is, we survived because of Earth. Confused murmurs rippled through the amphitheater. Earth didn't try to kill us, Sarah continued, walking down the steps toward the center stage. It trained us. Every challenge you mentioned? It made us stronger. Let me give you an example. She tapped her data pad, and a hologram materialized above the stage. A human ancestor, hunched and primitive, running across an African savanna. This is Homo erectus, one of our ancestors from 2 million years ago. Notice something? He's not the fastest animal. He's not the strongest. He doesn't have claws or venom or armor. So how did he catch that antelope you see in the distance? The hologram animated, showing the human jogging at a steady pace while the antelope sprinted away, then stopped, then sprinted again. Hours passed in accelerated time. The antelope eventually collapsed from exhaustion while the human kept coming. Persistence hunting, Sarah explained. We didn't outrun our prey. We outlasted them. Earth's heat taught us to sweat. A cooling mechanism so efficient that we can regulate our body temperature better than almost any other species. We can run for hours in conditions that would kill most predators. A Zelthari student's scales rippled with discomfort. That's horrifying. You're pursuit predators. We're endurance specialists, Sarah corrected. And that's just one adaptation. You mentioned our corrosive atmosphere. That oxygen didn't just rust metal, it supercharged our metabolism. We can heal from injuries that would be fatal to most species. A human can lose a quarter of their blood and survive. We can regrow liver tissue. We've survived with punctured lungs, damaged hearts, and severed limbs. She changed the hologram to show a human immune system attacking pathogens. Earth threw every disease imaginable at us. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi. So we evolved an immune system that's part guardian, part berserker. We can survive infections that would devastate a Krolix colony. The Krolix student in question shuddered, his antennae drooping. And those predators you mentioned? Sarah's smile widened. We didn't just survive them. We domesticated the apex predator of the canine family. We turned wolves into dogs, hunting partners, guardians, friends. We looked at the most efficient killers on our planet and said, let's be friends. Madness, whispered a Phelxian. Adaptability, Sarah countered. Earth's unstable weather? It taught us to prepare for anything. We built shelters that could withstand Category 5 hurricanes. We developed agriculture in deserts and rainforests, on mountains and plains. Humans live comfortably in the Arctic tundra and the Sahara Desert, temperature ranges that span over 80 degrees Celsius. She paused, letting that sink in. But the most important thing Earth taught us? It taught us to cooperate. Humans are pack hunters, tribal creatures. We survived by working together, by communicating, by building societies. Every natural disaster made us stronger as a community. Every predator made us better coordinators. Every disease made us more innovative. The hologram shifted to show human history, tribes forming villages, villages forming cities, cities forming nations, nations forming a global civilization. You ask how we survived Earth long enough to reach the stars? Sarah looked around the amphitheater, meeting eyes of every shape and color. We didn't survive despite our death world. We thrived because of it. Earth didn't make us fragile creatures huddling in safe zones. It forged us into endurance hunters with overpowered immune systems, incredible healing abilities, and an almost pathological refusal to give up. She returned to her seat, and silence filled the massive hall. Finally, Ciara the Vexian spoke, her voice small. Professor Chen, one more question. On your death world with all those dangers, did humans ever develop a natural fight-or-flight response? Sarah's expression grew serious. Yes. But here's the thing most species don't understand about humans. Our fight-or-flight response is heavily weighted toward fight. When threatened, a human's body floods with adrenaline, increasing strength, dulling pain, and sharpening focus. We become more dangerous when we're scared. She stood again, her posture relaxed but her voice carrying an edge. So to answer your original question, Earth is a death world. It made us survivors, innovators, and explorers. We didn't conquer our planet, we grew up wrestling with it. And now that we're here among the stars with all of you, she smiled and somehow it seemed both warm and terrifying. We're just grateful to finally have challenges that don't involve outrunning volcanoes or wrestling bears. The amphitheater remained silent long after she sat down. Professor Keltas's form pulsed thoughtfully before he spoke. Class dismissed. And perhaps we should reconsider the curriculum section on humanity being paradoxical. They make perfect sense when you understand where they came from. As the students filed out, many cast nervous glances at the human guest lecturer, who simply smiled and waved goodbye. Behind her friendly demeanor, they now understood, was 2 million years of evolution on a planet that didn't coddle its children. It forged them in fire, shaped them with storms, and sharpened them against tooth and claw. Earth hadn't created victims. It had created survivors, and those survivors had just joined the galactic community.